First of all, I just think you come from a unique point of view when valuing an opportunity right now because you understand selling. And so if you could just, share some of your wisdom in regards to, how business is best done and, how business is best done, how is the most natural way to sell something. Just kind of like a tip, if you just give us a tip, one tipper.
One tip about selling.
Uh-huh.
One tip about selling is that if you want to be effective at selling and to understand the secret of selling could be said in one sentence, and that is, find out information before you start giving it.
Well, that's a good one. Because and then why would you do that?
You do that because it's more powerful than the conventional way of selling, in as far as the conventional way of selling, or the critical distinction between, let's say, natural selling, which is what I teach, and the conventional way of selling, is that the conventional way of selling relies on techniques to persuade people to do what you want them to do. And those techniques of persuasion are based on presenting as soon as you can, or telling your story as soon as you can, handling closing as soon as you can, and also handling objections when people object to what you're saying. So people really aren't objecting to, in effect, your product. What they're doing is objecting to your behavior. And using closing techniques creates a lot of resistance. And when you're presenting is a guessing game, because actually you have to ask yourself the question, do you know what to present? And so the critical distinction between that and natural selling is that natural selling is designed to come from a place of service, in other words, to help people get what they want, and allow them to influence or persuade themselves without using external manipulation techniques. And it really comes from a holistic desire to serve and allow people to basically make up their own minds. And ironically, you can actually make more sales by doing that than taking the more conventional route.
Wow, and with applying these techniques, which obviously they make a lot of sense, and it I guess you'd say it feels a lot more natural for people. And but what kind of results does that create using that approach in your experience?
Well, before answering that question, you use the word techniques. I don't use the word techniques in natural selling because techniques are many times the things that cause us the problems. What I call is an approach. It's based on a philosophy, and it's based on, if you like, principles, and it's based on an application of the philosophy and the principles. And so it's more of an approach. There's a saying that says, techniques are many, principles are few. Techniques will vary, but principles never do. And so if you start removing the whole technique aspect in selling, and you start generating a different energy. So as far as results are concerned, the results are really dependent on the person who is using the approach, as in anything. However, used correctly and used with the correct intent, which is more important, the results can be stupendous. I could say double, but I know people who tripled, quadrupled, 10 times their previous results based on understanding the intention behind the natural selling approach and then applying it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And because I know that with you'd been in different business opportunities, different businesses, different companies, and then you found that you basically had an ability to do what those people were doing, but you knew the roles, you knew how to communicate, you knew how to sell something in this natural approach that you're talking about. So obviously, with your personal experience, you've had success with it. Is there anything you can mention about that?
My personal success?
Personal success with using the natural selling concept approach that you talk about.
Well, my personal success has been stupendous. It's been stupendous from the point of view of the revenue that I've created, and also through the whole aspect of being able to help people. And coming from a sort of relaxed point of view, or a relaxed way of selling. So I no longer have the tension that I used to create by conventionally selling. And so, success is relative. I mean, there's been great financial success, there's been great personal success. by just understanding the philosophy and following it myself.
That's great.